recent study revealed that the average American kid consumes 7.5 hours of media a day, and that includes internet surfing, tweeting, Facebooking, and chatting on the old phone. So when is it appropriate, what age, to wire your kids? That's the question this
and
morning.
this is part 2 of our series, the poll that we've looked into, an exclusive parenting poll. How young is too young? And Claire Shipman's been looking at all of it for us. And there she is with Hugo and Della this morning in Washington.
Hi, guys. There they are.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
Hugo's barely awake. You know, I've had to bribe them to be here with, you know, massive amounts of computer time later in the day. But this is a huge debate at our house, the cell phone debate. Kate, I heard you mention it. There are kids, Hugo's 8.5, there are kids in his class who already have cell phones. And I think part of the problem for us parents in this digital world is that none of us are digital natives.
Kyla and Richard, both 10, have pretty much done everything together, shared the same rules until this inequity came between them. Kyla got her first phone at age 8. Richard's mother, Brett, thinks he's still too young at 10.
I like to have a cell phone because for emergencies and to call my friends.
I kind of feel like, hey, I didn't have these things when I was growing up, and we did fine.
Welcome to Point Counterpoint Home Edition.
My friends have cell phones and I don't want to be left out.
We have never really made decision based on what other people are doing with their children.
It's a raging debate so many families are facing over how young is too young for modern technology.
Hello? Hi, Mom.
Our cutting-edge parenting poll found huge disagreement on the issue of cell phones. 38% of parents think kids should be 16 or over to get a phone. 22% say 12 or 13 makes sense. Only 7% think 10 is a reasonable age.
Our child is not deprived in any way, shape, or form. What does he need a phone for?
Brett was part of our roundtable of parent experts on these issues.
What age do you think it's appropriate for kids to have cell phones?
By the time they get to middle school, there's a lot more extracurricular activities.
10 is a good age to call your parents, to stay in touch. So if you're in a problem or emergency.
Texting capability for our parents started a huge debate about trust versus limits.
I think that it is a distraction.
For what? A distraction for what, though?
They put the phone on silence, and then they just text each other, and it's the new passing notes in the classroom.
Do you mean to tell me that you haven't developed your child to have the discipline to not do that?
Yeah, because kids are kids. That's what I'm trying to say.
And another big divide in our poll, internet use unsupervised. On average, parents think 14 is a reasonable age, but more than a third think kids need to be 18 or older.
See, my son's 9 years old, and he has a netbook that we allow him to be on unsupervised. However, he's got to be on the same floor in the same room.
What they don't do in their house, they will do at their friend's house. Everyone knows whose friend's house is unsupervised.
He's been raised, and I mean, it's reinforced in his school that there are just certain things you don't need to be looking at on the internet.
Do you check his history?
All the time.
Social networking and how involved parents should be, a hotly debated issue. Our poll found that 43% of parents think kids should be 18 before they use things like Facebook and Twitter.
There's fights that sometimes happen in high school because kids were saying, oh, did you hear the rumor about so-and-so? And they write it on Facebook.
Social media is like riding a bike with training wheels. If you're not sure how your child's going to do, you can say, look, you can have a Facebook profile, but for the first 6 months or year, you have to friend me. So I'm allowed to see what's going on.
He thinks that he's such a good hacker that anything that he puts on that he later regrets, he can take back. You know, a stupid statement or a dumb photo. And I was like, are you kidding?
I think I will always be checking in to see what they are doing.
Yes.
But Brett also says she's willing to be flexible. And at home, the debate continues.
Well, one of the reasons why we haven't gotten one up to this point is because you tend to lose things.
Yeah, but when it comes to the cell phone, I won't lose that.
Oh, he sounds so sincere. And guess what? Brett told us she has a surprise for her son. Instead of 13, she's decided on age 11.
Oh,
so that's just a few months away. Now, Hugo, what do you think? Here's Hugo's pitch. How old for a cell phone? 8. Imagine, and he's 8.5. Della, what do you think? How old for a cell phone?
7.
7. Okay. She's 4.5, so she's really not quite as greedy. But anyway, guys, I'm sure you're dealing with the same thing at home.
Oh, I got a 6-year-old and she wants one. I mean, I gave her 2 cans and string to start her off. But you know what's funny? We've been talking, Claire. We send mixed messages because the games on our phones become child pacifiers
at the
in restaurants.
So I hand my phone over to my kids to play the games. I'm totally guilty of that.
But there has to be a phone that you can program just to call home.
There is.
No, there are phones that are very simple without texting. But again, part of the challenge is that we just don't understand this world very well. And I think we're inclined to want to limit it. But some experts say actually we should really figure it out and embrace it, and embrace it with, with good limits and in a smart way. But to try to shut it all down just doesn't make sense.
Because there's no way to put that digital toothpaste back in the tube, to use that metaphor.
The best thing of all this, Claire, and thank you so much for bringing this all to us, is that it's inspired conversations in my house, in your house, and hopefully in your house as well, that we all start talking about it.
And you can get in on this conversation. Go to abcnews.com. Tell us, how old for that first phone?